started your business for freedom, right? The freedom to call the shots, build your dream, and to control your destiny. But let's get real for a second here. Lately, does it feel like freedom or more like a prison you have built for yourself? Hi, I'm Romy Singh, founder of Funnels and Profit Digital Agency, and over the past 12 years, I have personally generated more than $5 million across my agencies and products. I have built two six-figure agencies, learned some really expensive lessons, and climbed back from the rock bottom phase of my life to build what's now becoming another six-figure business. You are the CEO of your business, but you are also the head of the marketing, the entire sales department, the customer service representative, the bookkeeper, the social media manager guy. And let's be honest, on some days, you are the janitor too, because you have to clean up your own mess. You are wearing that solopreneur badge with pride, telling yourself you are saving money, staying lean, and nobody can do it quite like you. But that pride, that ego, it's costing you more than you know. The hard truth is that badge of honor you are wearing is actually a ball and chain, and it's slowly, silently killing your business and you too. If you have ever felt like this, you are drowning in a sea of tasks you are not even good at. If you have ever laid awake at late night with your mind racing with thoughts, if you have ever felt the crushing weight of knowing that if you stop, everything stops, then you need to hear this. You need to watch this video till the end because you are at a critical crossroads. This is the moment where you decide, are you going to run the business or is the business going to run you straight into the ground? Let's talk about the solopreneur's prison, the slow burn of doing it all on your own. The life of a do it all entrepreneur is a classic story of diminishing returns. It starts with passion and adrenaline. You are fueled by coffee and conviction. And in the beginning, it actually works. You hustle, you grind, you handle every email, every call, every fire. But that heroic effort has a dangerously short shelf life. The statistic on this should be a massive wake up call for you. The data is a clear indication. A huge number of entrepreneurs are on a collision course with burnout. We are talking about a world where a staggering 87.7% of small business owners struggle with mental health issues. And the hours, forget a 40 hours work week. Data shows that 28% of solopreneurs are working more than 50 hours every single week. What does that lead to? It leads to over a third of entrepreneurs admitting they feel completely burnt out, and a shocking 82% have lost sleep in the past year because of work related stress. This is not just about feeling tired, this is a deep systematic problem. You stop innovating, you stop being creative because your brain is fried from handling admin work or from the work stress or working too much. Your most important relationship starts to fray because you are never truly present at that moment. You're always half in conversation, half in thinking about that invoice you forgot to send or that creative that you forgot to create. Your creativity, the very spark that started this whole business, gets buried under a mountain of monotonous, uninteresting, soul-crushing work. You became the bottleneck. Nothing moves without you. Nothing gets done unless you do it. The business growth doesn't just slow down, it slams into a hard, immovable ceiling, and that ceiling is you. The irony is very brutal here. The one person who cares most about the business has become the single and biggest obstacle to its success and growth. This is not a sustainable way to build an empire. It is a recipe for a breakdown, for a business that never reaches its full potential, and for an owner who secretly resents the very thing they have built. The three blunders that keep you trapped where you are. The solution to all of this seems very obvious, right? Just delegate, just hire someone. But if it were that easy, everyone would do it. The reason most entrepreneurs stay trapped is because the biggest hurdles are not practical, they are psychological. Before you can hand off a single task, you have to win a war in your head. There are three big blunders that keep any entrepreneur stuck. First up is perfectionism blunder, which is really the fear of losing control. You have built your business, built this thing from scratch. It's your baby. The thought of someone else handling a client email, posting on your social media, or touching your books sends a jolt of anxiety right through you. The mantra plays on a loop in your head. If you want it done right, then you have to do it yourself. This feels like a commitment to quality, but it's really an ego trap. It assumes you are the only person on earth capable of doing good work, which is not only false but also the ultimate cap on your own growth. Your business can never grow beyond your own personal capacity if you believe that. The truth is, there are people out there in the market who are not just capable but are better and faster than you at specific task. Letting go is not about lowering your standards. It's about being smart enough to let an expert be an expert. The next blunder is financial blunder, which is the single biggest mistake you can make. It's buying into the idea that you can build a business without investing any money into it. You might have heard it thousands of times in courses, in videos, that you can build a business, $5,000, $10,000 monthly business without investing money. Don't buy into that, because when you buy those courses, the only thing that you are buying is burnout. That's a completely wrong way to look at business entrepreneurship, because if you're not investing money, you are investing something which is much more important than money, and that is your time. And time is the most limited resource we all have, so you have to be very careful how you spend it. You have a hard choice to make here: spend your time or spend your money. This is all about the compounding effect of strategic investment versus frugal and foolish decisions. Which one you're going to make? Most entrepreneurs get trapped choosing the cheapest option, not realizing that small strategic investment compound dramatically. For an example, a 3,000 rupees investment into the right software might save you 10 hours a week over a year. That's 520 hours of your life back. That's 13 full work weeks. The entrepreneur who spends month learning web designing instead of hiring a pro is not just losing time. They are losing all the revenue that could have happened in those months of delay. So here's the key. Every hour you spend on low value tasks is an hour stolen from the high value activities that could have transformed your whole business. And the third blunder, which is like a really interesting one, is a short-term thinking blunder. This one is very sneaky. It's that little voice in your head that keeps on repeating, keeps on saying, it will take me longer to explain this than to just do it myself. This is a short-term trap. Yes, training someone takes time upfront, but you do it only once. You document the process, shoot a quick tutorial video, write a simple checklist. That one-time investment of an hour pays you back for hundreds of hours, if not thousands of hours in the future. It's the difference between catching a fish for your team and teaching them how to fish for themselves. One feeds them for a day, the other fuels your business forever. Stop seeing training as a one time stuck and start seeing it is as an ultimate time multiplier, because that is what it actually is. Overcoming these blunders means changing your identity. You have to stop being the chief doer and start being the chief architect. An architect doesn't lay every brick, they design the blueprint, hire the best builders, and oversee the project to make sure the vision they have comes to life. Your job is the vision, everything else is just a brick for you. Okay, I hope your mindset it's shifting now. You are ready to admit you can't do it all. But where on earth do you start? The whole idea of this could feel like a standing at the bottom of a mountain. The key is to take a single manageable step ahead. I'm going to share a simple 4-step framework to make your first delegation a stress free success. The first step is the freedom calculator. Before you decide what to delegate, you need to know what your time is worth. Let's put a number on it. Take annual income you want to make. Let's say your goal is 8 million rupees a year. Now divide that by 2000. While this is a common business heuristic, but the real hours may vary. It's a powerful way to make a point. In this case, your goal hourly rate is 4000 rupees. That number, that 4000 rupees an hour, is your new North Star. From now on, you should not be doing any task you could pay someone else less than 4000 rupees an hour to do. Would you pay someone 4000 rupees to format a blog post, schedule social media content, or answer a basic email? Of course not. So, why are you doing it? This calculator instantly shows you what's a high value use of your time and what's not. Step 2 is the delegate everything brain dump. I would say grab a notebook or open a spreadsheet. For the next 15 minutes, write down every single task you do. Everything. Nothing is too small. Mention everything that you do, even if the smallest thing, which is like, formatting or changing anything. Mention every little thing. Think daily, maybe weekly, monthly. Then you will be able to create a proper list. Maybe it could be answering emails, creating invoices, updating the website, posting to Instagram, bookkeeping, client follow-ups, researching, content creation, editing, scheduling. Get it all out of your head. You will be shocked at how long this list is. This list is the total weight of the business on your shoulder, and you have been carrying it all along till now. So imagine how far you can walk if all of this weight are only resting on your own shoulder. I guess not so far. So now it's time to delegate, to build your team. The third step in the framework is the task sorting matrix. Now look at the list that you just created. Look at all that task. Now you are going to sort every task into one of these 4 buckets. The first bucket, quadrant 1, things you hate and you are bad at. These are your energy vampires. For many, this is accounting, graphic design, or tech support. These are your absolute first things that you want to let go of. Your delegation quick wins. Second quadrant is things you don't like but are good at. You are competent at this task, but they bore you to tears. Maybe it's managing your calendar or creating reports or creating core content. You are tempted to keep them, but they are prime candidate for delegation because they are easy to teach since you are good at this task. Third quadrant or the third bucket is things you love but you are bad at it. This one is very tricky. Maybe you love designing your website, but it takes you 10 hours to do what a pro could do in one. These are hobbies, not your productive business task. Be honest with yourself and delegate them to an expert. The fourth and the last quadrant is things you love and are great at. This is your zone of genius. This is where you should spend 80% of your time. These are the tasks that actually grow the business. Talking to your biggest clients, developing new services, doing the sale, creating the core content, and setting the grand vision. Everything outside this quadrant, this bucket, needs to eventually go. As your budget grows, you get rid of all the tasks that you have in this three quadrant except this one. Now it's time to make your first hire, which is virtual assistant, a VA. For most solopreneur, the first hire is always gonna be a virtual assistant. A VA is like a pro you can hire on a flexible part-time basis for as little as 5 to 10 hours a week. This demolishes the financial barrier and the perceived risk. You have taken the first step. Congratulations. Look at that list you just created right now, especially the first quadrant, the first bracket. Tasks like email management, social media content posting, data entry are perfect for VAs. Platforms like Upwork, Fiverr make it very easy to find talent. When you post the job, just be crystal clear about the task. Don't try to offload everything. Delegate only 2 or 3 repetitive things to build trust and get comfortable first. The small win will give you the confidence you need to let go of more in future. Let's talk about the blueprint for an effective delegation. Hiring someone is only half the battle. Just tossing a task over the fence and hoping for the best is not delegation, it's abdication. It leads to frustration, missed expectation, and proves that little voice in your head, right. Effective delegation is a skill. And here's the blueprint to get the result you want without becoming a micromanager or a pain in the. First, delegate the outcome, not the task. This is a very critical mindset shift here. Poor delegation sounds like this: post on Instagram 3 times a week. Effective delegation sounds like this: our goal is to increase Instagram engagement by 10% this quarter. I want you to own our Instagram presence and create a strategy to hit that target. Here are the brand guidelines and some photos. What else do you need from me to make that happen? See the difference? The first is sounding more like a task. The second one sounds like ownership. It empowers them to use their own creativity and expertise, which often leads to better ideas than you would have come up with. When people own the outcome, they care more about it. Second is create simple standard operating procedures. You can't expect anyone to read your mind. That it's faster if I do it myself excuse dies right here. The best way to do this is with a screen recording tool like Loom. The next time you do a repetitive task, just hit the record button and talk through the process. First I open this, then I click here, then I copy this, then I paste it here. That 5-minute video is now a permanent training asset that can clone you. Create a short video on every task that you feel is repetitive and you want to delegate. This investment ensures consistency and makes training anyone in future feel like a bridge. Third is establishing clear communication and feedback loops. Trust is built on clear communication. This does not mean hovering. It means setting up a rhythm. Use a tool like Trello or Todoist to track progress. Have a quick 15-minute check-in at the start of every week to align the priorities, and then have another 15-minute check-in at the end of the week to check the progress. It is also vital to create a space where they feel safe to ask questions and even make mistakes. If people are afraid to tell you that they have messed up, they will hide the problems until they become disasters. Frame mistakes as a learning opportunity. The goal here is progress, not perfection. Never forget that. Finally, trust but always verify. Letting go doesn't mean disappearing. In the beginning, you will review the work to ensure it meets the standard. But your goal is quickly move away from reviewing every task to spot checking and eventually to only checking the final result. It's going to happen, but it will take some time. The ultimate sign of success is when you can go on a vacation for a week, completely unplug, and come back to find the business run smoothly without you, maybe even grew a bit. That is the real freedom you were looking for. It's not about working less, it's about working on what truly matters for you. We started this by calling out the number one blunder for what it is, a ball and chain. We have dismantled the blunder that keeps you stuck, created a practical plan to get you started, and laid out the blueprint for doing it right. The path of an entrepreneur is one of evolution. You start as the artist, then the technician, the person who does the work, but to build something that lasts, something bigger than you have to evolve into leader, the conductor, the architect. You have to let go of the task to grab hold of the vision that you have. Doing everything yourself is not a sign of dedication, it's a sign of limitation. It's a guaranteed path to burnout and a business that never gets out of the first gear. The most successful entrepreneurs are not the ones who can do everything. They are the ones who are brilliant at building a team of people who are better than them at almost everything. This is your moment of decision. Will you continue to be the overworked operator of business that owns you? Or will you become the visionary leader of an enterprise that serves you, your customers, and your team? The choice takes courage. It requires trust. But on the other side of that fear, it's not just growth, it's freedom. The very freedom you set out to find in the first place. Thanks for watching. If this hits home with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more ways to build a smarter business. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment and tell me the very first task you are going to delegate after watching this video. Let's hold each other accountable. Now, go buy back your time. Thank you for watching and all the best.